All right, guys. So today we're going to take a look at the CLEER Arc 3 gaming edition or gaming version of these open style earbuds. And essentially what they did was they took the CLEER Arc 3, which has Bluetooth 5.4, and also now added a tiny little USB-C dongle so you can plug it into pretty much anything nowadays. I mean, even the iPhone uses the USB-C dongle. Pretty much every Android phone. You have the PS5, the Nintendo Switch, the Steam Deck, even the Meta Quest, the VR headset. These are now compatible with just simply by using the USB-C dongle. And really all CLEER did was tack on an extra, I believe like $20, because the CLEER Arc 3 gaming version, the one we're talking about, retails at $235, although right now on Amazon, it's knocked down to $224. And basically, again, it's just $20 more than the CLEER Arc 3, but having that USB-C connection kind of opens up things a lot more as far as compatibility goes. So from a design and from a look standpoint, the earbuds themselves basically has looked like every other version of the Arc earbuds to this point. It's an open ear style, so it's not made to go in your ears. There's no ear tips. It has the ear hook, and it just kind of has the speakers kind of right above your ear canal without actually being in your ear canal. So this is allowing you to hear your environment, be aware of everything going on around you, and still be able to listen to your music. Now these do swivel, left to right, but they do not swivel up and down, which I really wish that they would, just so you can place it exactly where you want it to. The case on these though is a little bit different than any other open ear style cases. Now it's the exact same case that is on the CLEER 3. It does have an HD display on the outside, which is a touchscreen, and it basically allows you to control a lot of the things that you're also able to control within their app. But the case also is Qi wireless charging compatible, so you can just drop it on any wireless charger, and the case also has UV sanitation. So once you close the lid with the earbuds in it, it cleans the earbuds from any bacteria, which I think is kind of cool. We've seen this on some earbuds in the past. We don't really see this as much, or it's not as common on a lot of other earbuds, so this is a nice touch. So I do want to point out from a technology standpoint, we did say that they have Bluetooth 5.4. They also support Snapdragon sound if you do happen to have a device that supports this. It does support LDAC playback, so you're getting some of the best Bluetooth codec that you can get. And like I said earlier, you can have multi-point connection just with the Bluetooth itself, but with the dongle, you have the ability to have a Bluetooth connection and that USB-C dongle where you can, be gaming and also still be able to take calls on your phone and everything at the same time without actually interrupting what you're doing. So that is definitely cool. And the USB-C dongle cuts down your latency down to like 30 milliseconds because Bluetooth is not going to give you that kind of latency. So that is definitely a nice touch. Now, when it comes to the app and the case and what all they're capable of doing, the app does allow you to keep the earbuds and the case updated. There are some EQ options. I am gonna say you really need to get out of the stock one that comes on these out of the box, which is flat. I felt like as soon as I moved over to rock or pop, which was my personal preference, you have a lot more brightness and a lot more details when it comes to the sound overall, but we'll talk about that once we get to the sound. But you can also turn on the Dolby Atmos support that these have, so you can have that really wide spatial audio. It has head tracking, but there's two different kinds of the Dolby mode that you can turn it in. It has a movie mode and then it has a music mode. And to me, the movie mode just kind of seems to bump up the mids a little bit so that you can hear dialogue a little bit better. You can hear footsteps and just more things in the mid-range are brought out a little bit better in here. But surprisingly, and this is a feature you've heard me talk about before when it comes to spatial audio, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, but with the design of the open ear style earbuds, which are already made to kind of have this open feel anyway, this is the first, actually maybe the second time that this has worked really well with music. I actually left it in this mode most of the time, so this isn't as distracting as it is on earbuds. It doesn't seem as artificial because it just fits into your environment a little bit better. But also within the app, you have a nod mode where you can take calls if you shake your head yes, or decline them if you shake your head no. You can also take photos by using the case. It's kind of like a trigger with your phone. You also have controls over your controls if you want to switch some things around, but these do use touch controls on the earbuds, and I am happy to say that you do get control over everything out of the box. Now, also within the app, it does keep up with your steps, like as if you had a smartwatch. I find that to be pretty interesting to be on a pair of earbuds. There is a Find My Earbuds feature within the app. There is also an auto volume mode, so it will just kind of auto adjust the volume if you go into a noisy environment, and then it'll kind of drop it down a little bit if you go into a more quiet environment. And then also within the app, this is where you turn on the LDAC mode. Do keep in mind though, in LDAC, that is going to eliminate your multi-point connection if you're just going to be using Bluetooth by itself. But this is the case with pretty much any earbud that supports this. Now, if you are going to use these earbuds outdoors, and I'm extremely happy to say this because for some reason, so many open ear style earbuds do not give you good water protection, but these come in rated at IPX7. So technically they're waterproof to the point where if you drop them into water, it's not going to immediately damage your earbuds. So you're going to be fine against rain and sweat and splashes. It's just a pair that you don't have to worry about damaging just because they may get dropped into water. And then as far as what all comes in the box, obviously these do not use ear tips, so you don't have to worry about that. But it does come with a USB-C cable, but like I said earlier, these do support wireless charging. So you don't necessarily have to use that USB-C cable. You just drop it on any wireless charger and it will just start charging that way. But speaking of the charging, the battery life is very impressive on this pair. Just on a single charge, the earbuds are going to give you about 10 hours of use. And with the charging case, you're going to get about 50 hours total. Now, if you are going to have these in LDAC mode, or if you're going to be using that Dolby mode, it is going to cut down your battery life. These are features that just, again, draw a little bit more power, so keep that in mind. But if you do happen to pick these earbuds up, they also have a fast charging feature where a 5-minute charge will get you about an hour and a half worth of use. And so that's actually pretty nice. Again, I like fast charging. I am one that just doesn't always double check that my earbuds are charged. So if I am headed out the door, that 5-minute charge giving me 90 minutes definitely comes in handy. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, the mics on these are very good. I felt like it picked up my voice extremely well, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is a mic test using the CLEER Arc 3. There's not a whole lot of noise going on outside right now. I can hear some birds like off to the side, but this is really just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were using the mics in public. So now let's talk about the sound. And before we actually get into the details of the sound, I want to start with this. This is a very loud pair of open ear style earbuds. It is very spacious, which again, by design, it should be. And it is very dynamic, and this is what separates it from a lot of the other open ear style earbuds. A lot of open ear style earbuds usually just kind of sound like you're listening to a speaker at a distance. It lacks the punch of low end like you're used to with earbuds. That is not the case with these. They definitely have some impact. It's not loose, it's not sloppy, but it is a little bit more loose than a lot of the other open ear style earbuds. So you can tell that it's trying to give you somewhat of a subwoofer type effect, but it's still not going to be like a normal pair of true wireless earbuds. You're going to feel that impact, and it's going to move on to the next hit because it's not sealing your ears completely. It's not replicating bass the way that normal earbuds and headphones can do. But from the open ear style range of earbuds, this is one of the best when it comes to the low end. The same thing with the treble. This is a very detailed, very bright once you switch it out of that flat EQ. And the reason I don't like the flat EQ is I don't feel like it really bumps up the low end at all. It doesn't give you a whole lot of details. Well, I guess it's kind of doing what it says it's gonna do. It says it's flat, and that's what I got from it. It just kind of sounded lifeless until I switched it into the rock EQ, or even switched it into the pop EQ. But once I switched it to rock or pop, it's very bright, it's very detailed. It never got harsh. It's nothing that causes like ear fatigue. I do want to point out that the mid-range on these are fantastic. I think they noticed that this is a gaming pair, or at least a pair that's going to be focused on gaming, and they knew that mids are important. You need to be able to hear dialogue. You need to be able to hear people are talking to you. You need to hear the rustling of the leaves. You need to hear footsteps, and all of that is brought out very well in these. And that lends itself extremely well when it comes to music, because that's what's going to bring out vocals. You're going to hear male and female vocalists extremely clear. The riffs and guitars just have a nice, somewhat forward approach. Nothing sounds like they're trying to go too far out of their way to make things sound artificial. They make it sound bright enough so that you can hear all of your details. They make the mids be brought out just enough so that it doesn't get lost in everything else. And they give you just enough impact to give you a little bit more of a bass impact than, again, what I'm used to with this style of earbuds, without overdoing it. And then when it comes to the sound stage and the sound imaging, obviously by design, these are going to sound really open, but it does an excellent job of being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. And again, you can switch it into the Dolby mode and it just opens things up that much more. So I was very impressed this time when it comes to the spatial audio. It does have head tracking as well, which I'm not a fan of this, so I didn't really use this too much. So my overall opinion is this: from a feature standpoint and from a sound standpoint, it is going to be hard to find another pair out there that can compete with these. Just the fact that the case allows you to have all of these controls, essentially, that the app gives you. You don't have to have your phone to be able to play around with the settings or quickly switch it into Dolby or switch the EQ, or all of these different features, and being able to go into the app and kind of mess around with different wallpaper options on the case. It just kind of gives it its own personal feel, and I think CLEER knocked it out of the park with these. I think the only issue people are going to have is that initial price tag, that shock of these are $235. But this is a pair that is designed for you to wear all day, and the battery life allows you to do that. It's giving you some of the best Bluetooth quality and sound quality, again, even using the USB-C dongle that I have heard in these type of pairs. Now, I do wish the case had a place to house the little USB-C dongle, but it doesn't. I guess you could stick it in the charging port on the back of the case, and it could just keep up with it that way. So I definitely recommend these if you're looking to spend a little bit more on open ear style earbuds. But guys, that's my video on the CLEER Arc 3 Gaming Edition. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.